Have you ever found yourself standing in front of the fridge late at night, not because your stomach is growling, but because something inside you feels unsettled? Maybe it was a stressful day, a tough conversation, or just a lingering sense of emptiness you couldn't quite explain. You open the door, scan the shelves, and suddenly that leftover dessert or bag of chips feels like the answer. Not because you're hungry, but because you're looking for something else. Something deeper. Something emotional. This is emotional eating, and it's something almost everyone experiences at some point in their life. Emotional eating isn't about lack of discipline or willpower. It's not simply about loving food too much or not trying hard enough to stick to a diet. It's a complex response tied to how we process feelings, cope with stress, and seek comfort. Food becomes more than fuel, it becomes a tool, a distraction, a reward, and sometimes even a form of escape. And while it might offer temporary relief, it often leaves us feeling worse afterward, caught in a cycle that feels hard to break. To understand emotional eating, we first need to recognize the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. Physical hunger builds gradually. It comes with clear signals, like a growling stomach, low energy, or difficulty concentrating. It can be satisfied with almost any type of food, and once you're full, the feeling goes away. Emotional hunger, on the other hand, comes on suddenly. It's often intense and specific. You might crave sugary, salty, or highly processed comfort foods. Even after eating, the feeling doesn't truly go away, because the root cause isn't physical hunger. It's emotional need. Stress is one of the biggest triggers for emotional eating. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol, which can increase appetite and cravings for high-calorie foods. This is not a flaw of its biology. Your brain is wired to seek quick energy and comfort during stressful times. In the past, this response helped humans survive. But in today's world, where food is always available, it can lead to overeating and unhealthy habits. You're not broken, your body is just doing what it was designed to do, but in an environment it wasn't designed for. Another powerful trigger is boredom. When life feels monotonous or unstimulating, food can become a source of entertainment. Eating gives you something to do, something to feel, something to look forward to. It fills the silence. But boredom eating isn't about hunger, it's about a lack of engagement or purpose in the moment. It's your mind searching for stimulation, and food just happens to be the easiest option. Loneliness and emotional emptiness also play a major role. Humans are social beings, and when we feel disconnected, we naturally seek comfort. Food can mimic that comfort in a small way. A warm meal, a sweet treat, or even just the act of eating can create a temporary sense of satisfaction and warmth. But unlike real connection, it doesn't last. Once the moment passes, the loneliness often returns, sometimes even stronger than before. Then there's the role of habits and conditioning. Many of us were taught from a young age to associate food with comfort, reward, or celebration. Think about it, birthdays come with cake. Achievements come with treats, and even sadness is often met with phrases like "let's get something to eat." Over time, your brain starts to link emotions with eating. So when you feel something, good or bad, your instinct is to reach for food. It's not a conscious decision, it's a learned pattern. Emotional eating can also be tied to deeper psychological patterns. For some, it's a way to avoid difficult emotions. Instead of sitting with sadness, anger, or anxiety, food becomes a distraction. It numbs the feeling, even if only for a short time. For others, it's a way to regain a sense of control. When life feels chaotic, eating can feel like something you can control, even if that control is temporary or ultimately harmful. But here's the truth, emotional eating is not the problem, it's the symptom. It's a signal that something deeper needs attention. And the goal isn't to eliminate emotional eating completely, because emotions are part of being human. The goal is to understand it, manage it, and develop healthier ways to cope. The first step is awareness. You can't change a habit you don't recognize. Start paying attention to your eating patterns. When you feel the urge to eat, pause and ask yourself, am I physically hungry, or am I feeling something else? This simple question can create a powerful moment of clarity. It doesn't mean you have to stop eating, it just helps you understand why you're eating. Next, learn to identify your triggers. Is it stress? Boredom? Loneliness? Fatigue? Once you know what's driving your emotional eating, you can start to address the root cause instead of just the behavior. For example, if stress is your trigger, you might explore stress management techniques like deep breathing, exercise, or journaling. If boredom is the issue, you might find new activities or hobbies that engage your mind and give you a sense of fulfillment. Another important step is building alternative coping strategies. Food is just one way to deal with emotions, but it doesn't have to be the only way. Think about other things that bring you comfort or relief. It could be listening to music, going for a walk, talking to a friend, or even just taking a few moments to breathe and reset. The goal isn't to replace food completely, but to expand your toolkit so you have more options. It's also important to create a balanced relationship with food. Restrictive dieting can actually make emotional eating worse. When you label foods as good or bad, you create a sense of guilt and deprivation. This can lead to a cycle where you restrict, then binge, then feel guilty, and repeat. Instead, aim for balance. Allow yourself to enjoy food without guilt, while also nourishing your body in a way that supports your health. Self-compassion plays a huge role in breaking the cycle of emotional eating. Beating yourself up for overeating doesn't help, it often makes things worse. When you approach yourself with kindness and understanding, you create a space for growth and change. Remember, you're not alone in this. Emotional eating is incredibly common, and it doesn't define your worth or your ability to improve. Sleep and overall lifestyle also matter more than most people realize. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more hunger hormones and fewer satiety hormones, making you more likely to overeat. Lack of sleep also affects your mood and decision-making, which can increase emotional eating. Taking care of your body through rest, movement, and proper nutrition creates a stronger foundation for managing your emotions. Mindful eating is another powerful tool. Instead of eating on autopilot, try to be present with your food. Pay attention to the taste, texture, and experience of eating. This not only enhances enjoyment but also helps you recognize when you're full. It turns eating into a conscious act rather than a reactive one. It's also worth addressing the environment around you. If highly processed, comfort foods are always within reach, it's easier to fall into emotional eating. This doesn't mean you need to eliminate them completely, but being intentional about what you keep around can make a difference. Surround yourself with options that support your goals while still allowing flexibility. Sometimes, emotional eating goes deeper than habits and lifestyle. If it feels overwhelming or out of control, it might be helpful to talk to a professional. Therapy or counseling can help you explore the underlying emotions and patterns that drive your behavior. There's no shame in seeking support, it's a step toward understanding yourself better. Breaking free from emotional eating isn't about perfection. It's about progress. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns, and that's okay. What matters is how you respond. Each moment is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and move forward. Imagine a version of yourself who doesn't rely on food to cope with every emotion. Someone who understands their feelings, responds with intention, and treats themselves with kindness. That version of you isn't far away, it's built through small, consistent steps over time. The next time you feel the urge to eat when you're not hungry, don't judge yourself. Instead, get curious. Ask yourself what you're really feeling and what you truly need in that moment. Sometimes, it might still be food, and that's okay. But other times, it might be rest, connection, movement, or simply a moment of pause. Emotional eating is not your enemy. It's a message. And when you learn to listen to that message, you gain the power to respond in a way that truly supports your well-being. Because at the end of the day, food can comfort you for a moment, but understanding yourself can change your life. If this video helped you understand your emotional eating habits a little better, make sure to hit that like button, it really helps more people see this message. And if you're serious about improving your mindset, your habits, and your relationship with food, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Remember, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be aware and consistent. Every small step you take matters more than you think. So the next time you feel that urge to eat, pause for a second, check in with yourself, and choose what truly helps you, not just what feels good in the moment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.